Welcome to a journey into yoga. I'm Susan Rubenstein. So today we are going to explore happy hips. So hips, a conversation that I have many times with students and clients. They tell me how tight their hips are, how it's uncomfortable at times to just get out of bed or to get up. Well, a lot of it has to do with the habitual patterns that we create in our bodies, and that goes over and over through a year's time. It doesn't just happen overnight. One of the culprits is sitting, right? So we talk about in this society how much time we spend sitting. Now, it may not be intentional. You might be a very active person. You get your workout in 5-6 days a week. You're trying to do all the right things, but then you go to work. And maybe your job requires you to sit 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Then maybe you're in the car for a half hour, 90 minutes with your commute on each end. So if you add all that together, that's a lot of time seated in that tightness and hip flexion state. It also puts a tremendous amount of strain on your lower back. So with that being said, what I'm going to give you today in the yoga class is really a wonderful way not only to center yourself, to breathe, to make that connection, that mind, body, and breath connection, but how to properly care for yourself and stretch. And hopefully some of these tools that I give you today, you can use every day. You can use them when you wake up. You can use them after your workout. You can use them before you go to bed. So try to find the time every day to stretch out your hips. So all you really need is just a nice open space. You can do these at your desk. If you find some of the things that we do on the floor, they're not going to work so much during your day job. You can do them at home in the morning or at night. Just have a nice yoga mat with you. Bring some water along. And also when you just take time to take care of you, that's the wonderful part of yoga. It's part of self-care. All right. So with that being said, we're going to stand in mountain pose. So as we look down, we have our feet about 1 fist distance apart. We're going to spread the toes, root down. I'm going to bring the hands in front of my heart. This helps me to become more centered. And then I close my eyes. So I want you to try to just clear the slate in your mind. So just imagine that a thought is now a puffy cloud. And the backdrop for that cloud is a beautiful blue sky. I want you to take that thought, slide it into the center of the puffy cloud, and just watch that puffy cloud against the blue backdrop float away. And as it floats away, maybe another thought rides up inside the next puffy cloud, and the next thought into the next. So all you're doing is standing by and just observing your thoughts go by. But then you start to notice that in between thoughts, in between clouds, you're seeing more of that blue sky. Maybe you're seeing more of a reflection of that blue sky on a beautiful, crystal clear lake. Can you visualize that lake? Can you see yourself standing by the lake, taking your breath in, taking a full, deep belly breath, and then completely emptying your lungs when you exhale and letting go of anything you no longer wish to hold on to? A thought, a feeling, a memory, a conversation. Can you bring your focus? Can you bring your attention to the present? Don't force it. The mind will wander, the thoughts will come in, but start to create a sense of awareness, a sense of you. So we breathe in a slow count of 4 or 5 seconds just to get ourselves open. Can we breathe out 5 or 6 seconds as we finish emptying the breath from the body? And can we restart that again until you eventually find that the breath is seamless, It's all one beautiful continuum. The inhale and the exhale swirl into one, and it feels so relaxing, so inviting. So let's bring our arms down and start to open. Take a deep breath in, arching up and back. Drop the tail. Exhale, bring your hands in. So when you're inhaling and scooping your arms out, full belly breath. Exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling. Exhale. Now we're going to take a beautiful swan dive. So we come up. Invite your arms to extend out. Imagine you're gently flying through the air. Either stay in table with soft knees, hands to thighs, or lower yourself all the way down. Bringing yourself down, chin comes into the chest, spine lengthens. Feel the back of the skull open up. Inhale, we're going to come halfway up. So either hands stay to heart, to feet, or to legs. Lift your heart out. Exhale, fold forward. Take two more. Inhale, lengthen, feel the stretch in the back of the legs, soften the knees, especially if your lower back's tight. Exhaling. One more time, we'll take that slow inhale. Feel the lengthening, feel the crown reach. Exhale. Now, let the arms sweep out, reverse swan dive, carrying yourself all the way up. Can you take it all the way up to the top? Can you reach high? Can you lower your hands down? Inhale, circle the arms all the way out, lift up. Exhale. Let's take those arms out now. So we're going to stretch them out to the side and then just do a little lateral flexion here. Now as we're moving side to side, we're stretching out the side waist, the side of the hips. This is really healthy for your back. So a little bit of flow. And flow can be incorporated with your breathing. So that's important to think about. Let's do a few more. And then come to one side and pause. Take that full stretch. Let your palms stay open. Let the shoulders drop back and down. And then imagine you're lifting something above your head, inhaling deep. And then exhale, find your way over to that other side. Come out through center. Now bring your hands in. Let's take a wide step out. In doing that, extend your arms out. Drop your shoulders. Now we're going to explore turning our right foot out 90 degrees, left foot slightly in. We're going to inhale with keeping the shoulders and the hips square. Bend the knee. And then exhale, come back. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale. So we're starting to lengthen and elongate the spine, but we're getting a wonderful opening through the hips. Now on this last one, bend the knee. Feel that right buttock scoops under. Start with your hand onto that upper thigh and then reach back through your left arm. So we're just coming into a variation of side angle, but allowing our hips to open. So that's what we want to focus on right now, is feeling the hips open, both across the front of the hips, the sides, and the back. And then start to come up through center. Take a deep breath. Can you go into reverse now? Still feeling that wonderful space within the hips. And then roll back up through center. Now, can you continue to open the hips and drop your forearm? Now, let's just take this arm and either extend it upward or hide it behind us. Now, as you wrap that arm behind you, can you open your chest a little bit more? I know I'm feeling a great stretch from the outside of my hip down my IT band to the outside of my knee. Take one more deep breath, relax the head and the neck. And then find your way back into warrior two. Beautiful. Now take another deep breath in. Exhale, draw this leg up. Pivot the toes in. Turn the other leg out. Drop into warrior two. So you'll feel a difference from one side to the other in your legs and your hips. Now very gently, we're going to take that deep breath in, straighten the leg, reverse back. Exhale, come to the bend. Your knee tracks between second and third toe. Good. So just like a lunge, you want to think about alignment. But most of all, you want to think about yourself right now, what you're doing, and enjoying being in this moment as you do it. Now stop, hand to that upper thigh. Can you reach back? Can you create space? Can we feel openness in our hips, our heart? Come back through center. Take a deep breath in. Keep that strong lunge, reverse back again, soften, turn your gaze, glance down the edge of your leg to the outer edge of your foot. And then work back up through center. Now, can we shift, spin the ribs, drop the forearm to the thigh, reach up. Can we hide the arm behind as well? And move the head. Still getting a great hip opener here. Good. So take time each and every day to allow your body to be supported. So we're supported through just a breathing routine, just some quiet time, some stretches that you can hold. If you have time to hold a stretch for at least a minute on what you're focusing on, whether it's your hips or your hamstrings or your back, you'll feel so much better. Now come up. Beautiful. Let's pigeon toe. So now we're going to work with this wide stance. I usually say to my students, look to see where your wrist is. And then right underneath that, just imagine you dropped a string and it should touch the outside of your ankle. Now we're going to take a deep breath in. Now with this wide hip stretch, slightly turn the toes in and come forward. You can stay in table, reach out for something, or come all the way down. So say if you were at work, you could reach for the edge of your desk. Otherwise, start to fold down. Feel yourself come into that fold. You can put your hands in front, hook onto your big toes, whatever you feel or see fit for you. And then lift up through the heart. Can you place one hand down and now move into a twist? Scoop the belly muscles in. Stack the arms. Feel the earth underneath your feet. And then can you slowly do that on the other side? Feeling that sense of connection. Come through center. Now, walk your hands to your waist, come up. Now looking out at your feet, turn your feet out to 11 and 1. So there's that slight turn. So hips, think about that. We externally rotated open. Now bend your knees. Let your knees reach out towards your toes. Drop the tail down. Sitting in a hip stretch can require now the strength of our legs. Open the arms. Let's release the back by vining the arms. Release the shoulders and breathe. Sink down a little bit lower. Good. Spread your toes. Wiggle your toes. Lift your spine tall. So imagine your spine being against a wall. Your tail just sliding down into the pelvic bowl. Where's your breath? Where do you need support right now? Open the arms. Inhale, come up. Find the breath in the six-pointed star. Slowly come back down. Vine through the other side. Sitting down into that seat, lifting up through the heart space. Maybe turn your heels in a little bit more and your toes out. Open up. So we've turned on the thighs, the seat. We're taking that nice big stretch right through those hips. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Cleansing breaths. And then start to make your way up. Beautiful. Reach up, bring your hands together, and then heel toe your feet together. Now, take a step forward with your right foot. Your left foot will be slightly turned out. Shoulders and hips are square. So this is important to have those hips square. Let's take a deep breath in. Coming into pyramid, which is a wonderful hip stretch. We're going to slowly hinge down. As we're coming forward, that right hip presses back to keep the left hip in alignment. We can stop here. Again, use table. Or continue to come down, working head maybe down, nose to knee, and just feeling a nice stretch. I love this because I feel it in my hips. I hear my breath, so my breath is very vivid and vibrant right now. But I also feel it in my hamstrings. And I don't know if about you, but that's where I feel tension in my body. Is in my hamstrings. So it's nice just to open them up. We turn to that mindful breathing. Mindfulness, a word we use a lot, but really what all it means is being present, being in the moment.
Can you nourish yourself? Can you brighten your own light? And now start to lift up.
So the nice thing about yoga is that you can change it. You can make it more flow and active and quick and energetic and athletic. Or you can explore what we're doing today. More passive, more serene, going deeper through the stretch, getting into the fascia, the connective tissue. So let's step the other leg forward. Again, ears, shoulders, and hips. Think about postural alignment. Open up those arms. Take that joyous breath in. When we're hinging, feel the integration of your whole body as one. Either in table or coming down, we release the hands, the head, the heart.
How can you incorporate yoga into your life in a more regular and nourishing way and not feel like it's just one more task, one more chore, one more detail in your life? How can you make it where it's just part of your routine? Just like your routine of getting up and brushing your teeth, making your lunch. What can you do to allow space in your life for moments like this? And then start to slowly feel yourself come up. Notice how already you may feel a change, a shift into the calm, and step in. So a little bit of a balance challenge. So I invite you to always feel like you can have a chair or a table or the edge of a desk in front of you or a wall. One of my favorite hip openers is lifting the knee, scoop the buttocks under, walk the ankle above the knee joint on the supporting leg, and then sit back like you're doing a squat. Flex your foot. Now, the deeper you go down, the more you're going to feel this hip open. Flex your foot. Maybe reach your arms up. So we've incorporated balance. Balance is fun. Balance is something that keeps us humble. We have a sense of humor about ourselves. Balance comes from within. Some days balance is right on, and other days we are wobbling and just falling all over the place. It's no different than the routines of our daily life. No 2 days are ever the same. Start to slowly bring your hands around, come up. Let's drop the foot in front, take a deep breath. Take softly hold of the wrist and pour over. Breathe. Connect. Come up through center and then release. Good, shake it out. Let's visit the other side, all right? So remember today, we're exploring feeling good, being patient. Now lift the knees, scoop the buttocks. Turn the knee out. Whoop, see? One side, not always wanting to do what you think it should do. So that's okay. We just try it again. Remembering that yoga is a practice. Drop the shoulders. Feel yourself connect. Feel where your breath is. Invite it into the different sensations. And learning to breathe through discomfort. We all experience discomfort in our lives. But how can we avoid letting it just consume us, take us into a place that doesn't feel healthy? Always being in that fight or flight mode. Can we maintain our awareness, our breath, our wits, and still go through whatever's in front of us? And then start to come up. Slide your foot down. Take hold and stretch. So the calmer we feel, the more light we are able to shine from within. And then come up and release. Beautiful. All right. So that was some really good tips on how to open your hips through yoga standing. So I invite you all to come down now. We're going to work our way onto our backs. So for some of you, it takes a few moments, so give yourself time to settle. Lower down. What I like to do is just some gentle knee marches. This helps just to stretch out my lower back. This is nice to do. I enjoy releasing my lower back after a long run, or after teaching a cycling class, or a step class. Good. Now let's hug both knees into the chest for a moment. Now what I want you to do when you hug both knees, put your hands on your kneecaps, open your knees out a little bit wider than hip width, and circle through those hip sockets. I mean, how often do we really think about doing that? And one thing we want to think about is how can we keep our joints moving freely? Well, there's a saying in yoga that motion is lotion. So we're thinking about through this movement, this joint movement of rotation in that ball and socket, we're lubricating the stiffness in our hips. Doesn't that sound delightful for tight hips? Good. Now drop your knees out, flex your feet. So this is a variation of happy baby. Place your hands against the back of your thighs and press downward. For some of you, hook onto your big toes or hold your feet. And breathe. Let that breath come in and let the breath go out. Take a couple more breaths here. Now once we let go of the feet, I'm going to have you slide your feet to the floor. Once those feet come down, drop the knees side to side. So this loosens up the hips, the lower back. Good. Now, can you place your right ankle up onto your left thigh? So just like we did when we were working on our balance, our seated hip opener, but in a squat sense of standing up. Now, in the supine position, can you lift your foot off the floor? Feet are flexed. Thread your hands behind the thigh, or some people can reach around and hold below the knee. Just make sure you're not pulling on your knee joint. And maybe it would feel good to extend the leg all the way up, right? So we feel that hip open a little bit more. We feel some hamstring. So there's variations. There are shapes and poses inside of each shape and pose that we explore in yoga. That's how you learn about yourself. No two people should look the same. So as we're moving into the last 5 minutes of our class, I want you to really start to be a little bit more aware of your breathing and that little exercise that we did in the beginning. Are your thoughts starting to cloud your mind again? That they're beginning to become so connected that you can't see that beautiful, brilliant sky in between each cloud? Are they still white puffy clouds, or are they becoming gray and bogged down with too much information? Things that don't even pertain to here and now. And can you go back to finding space in between each thought? Let's take this now and take it around to the other side. Opening. You can start from the floor, work your way up, or just cross knee bent or straight up. Flex your feet. Continue to feel your breath. That's so important here. Feed and fuel yourself with your breath. Take another deep breath in here. Good. So if there are any particular poses that you've done today that you really felt connected with, don't be afraid to do them again. Do them after we finish. Do them the next day. Incorporate them into your routine. All right, so let's just place the feet on the floor. Start to move side to side. Walk your feet up towards your hips. Now this is a wonderful way to release tension in the hips. So we're going to start with bridge. We're going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to take you through 5 fluid movements and then we'll hold. Arms to your side. We're going to inhale the arms up first. They stretch overhead. Head is down and still. As we exhale, lower the arms, soft tilt. Lift up from your seat into your hips. Inhale to lower. Exhale to come up. Inhaling to lower. Exhaling to come up. Let's do this twice more. Inhale one more time. And on this final one, exhale, lift yourself all the way up and stop. So try to reach the highest peak of your bridge. Pelvis and hips are neutral. We feel that energy from our feet travel through our legs, opening the hips. Let your arms spill out, create space for your chest. Encourage the breath to be there. Encourage your mind to be here. Encourage your body to respond to the wonderful feeling of openness in our hips. We'll take a deep breath. Again, this is a wonderful pose that if you can hold for a couple minutes, you would really feel the benefits and the nourishment of it. Just make sure your back feels good. Let's take the breath with us and then ease the spine down. Draw the knees side to side. So as we complete our practice together, I'd like you to take this opportunity to stay on your back, walk your feet together, drop your knees out. So we're in cobbler pose. Bring your arms in and rest your hands against your belly. So I'm going to guide you into the end of your practice. I want to thank you for spending time with me today. But most importantly, I want you to thank yourself for carving out this important time of self-care and self-love. So whatever your yoga practice entails, support yourself through your breath. Find time to quiet your mind. And always make taking care of yourself a priority. Support yourself, love yourself, and through that, you can then transcend that out into others, your family, your friends, the people you spend your time with. Have a wonderful rest of your practice. Namaste.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.